Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Spider-Man No Way Home Walmart exclusive. This is the upgraded suit, which is basically the Far From Home figure upgraded suit. Not really any different. The plastic is a little bit different, so we get a little bit more of a dull red, and I will show a comparison a little bit later on in the video. I thought I had that figure right next to me. Turns out I don't. I grabbed a huge handful of all the MCU Spider-Mans, but not that one. But anyway, we see a Spider-Man logo. Does not say No Way Home, but it does have the same packaging design as the other Spider-Man No Way Home figures. So like here was the integrated suit. You can see the same kind of pattern there. Here was the black and gold suit. You know, kind of fits the theme going there. So pretty cool that we have this Walmart exclusive. It went up during the Walmart CollectorCon. It was an in-stock, not a pre-order. Walmart ships. In most areas, they do an overnight shipping because, like here in California, they use on-track, which is a next-day delivery, no matter where in the state you are. So it's kind of cool that, you know, I was able to get it, you know, right away. So pretty awesome. You see we have whipping hands. He has open holding hands. He comes with the unmasked Tom Holland head. That is the same from the Iron Spider 2-pack. See, I do have this one, but the paint apps on him are a little bit different. So I will show a comparison of the two a little bit later on in the video. And then he has one of the web accessories that we've seen multiple times over and over again, but the difference here is that it's actually a semi-translucent plastic that they use for the web, which actually looks pretty cool instead of the white solid webbing. So not bad there. We get a Spider-Man logo up at the top. There's the side artwork I had mentioned before. We get this promo art there of the upgraded suit, which looks pretty cool. The bio reads, Spider-Man gears up in his upgraded suit to fight evil and protect his neighborhood. So pretty generic bio, and that's it. Let's get to it. This is a bonus clip actually getting thrown in before I had done it. I had already filmed a clip talking about how the figure was the same as this one. They're, in fact, not the same. The torsos are different and the hip pieces are different, and I'll get into a little bit more in detail here pretty soon. But in this next clip, you'll see that I was referring to these figures as being the same, and they're actually not. So we'll go to that clip, and then after that, you'll see the side-by-side close-up comparison where I talk about the differences. Okay, so here is the Spider-Man figure out of the package, and they did make some improvements to the overall design of the suit compared to the previous version, but they also took a couple of steps backwards even, and I want to mention, there's no painted web lines. I get it, it sucks, it's horrible. Hasbro's the worst company ever. They didn't paint the web lines, they don't give wall-crawling hands on MCU Spider-Man figures. I get it, that all sucks, absolutely. I don't even know where I was going with that and can't really recover. It sucks, plain straight up. But they did make some improvements to it otherwise. But yeah, the missing web line still sucks. But one big thing that they really went backwards on this figure compared to the original first release is this one, kind of like the black and gold Spider-Man from No Way Home that I had talked about, how they did that paint, they did the weird paint apps to kind of do the circuitry and everything on here, where you had to, you know, kind of brighten up the light to really see the printed paint apps and everything, the minor details on there, all in black paint, so it's hard to notice right away, but when you zoom in and bright lights, you can see it. This figure did that for the texture design of the suit, which I don't think it gets enough credit. Like here, you could see it in the legs and stuff. Let me see if I can kind of brighten this up a bit. So looking at all the detail that's throughout, and I don't know if I really noticed this or paid that much attention to it before, but it's throughout the whole figure. Like look at the arms and everything, that the detail of the suit that we actually saw in the movie. Even on the back of the figure, we got that throughout all of the black areas, the back of the legs, everything. We get that textured design. They didn't do it into the sculpt, so they actually did it with some paint apps. Like, that's pretty incredible. Even on the hands, they took that away for this figure. So you would think that this one, being an improvement, that they would do that for this one, but they didn't. And that kind of sucks. More than the web lines. Well, I don't know. The web lines still suck. The web lines are sculpted at least, so it kind of, you see some of that detail. They would bring it out a little bit more. It's just, I don't know. You know, Hasbro did the gold over the black, and I think I don't know the black lines over the red, how that red will end up looking. You know, with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spider-Man figure, the red gets really dull and washed out because of one of the paint apps. That's how I feel, and I could be completely wrong on that. It's easy to do a color over black. It's not going to dull it out, but when you got a bright color like red, that's probably going to be a little bit hard for Hasbro to do. I assume. I don't actually know, but I assume. So now let's take a closer look at the figure to see kind of the differences between this version and the previously released version. I will show the accessories. So here is that web line here, and you can see it's that semi-translucent color, which I think is fantastic. So even though we don't get like a newer web accessory, something that's reused, and I hate like this design, but I guess it gets over his arm at least. I like that the went with the semi-translucent as opposed to just the solid white color that we had gotten before. Out of the package, he has these two open hands, and then he also has a pair of thwip hands. We did not get wall crawling hands. I just assume at this point we're probably never going to get it with an MCU Spider-Man figure, and I don't really know why. Then we also have the masked head sculpt and the Tom Holland head sculpt here. And I think that this one is overall an improvement over the Iron Spider version. They are the same, it's just obviously the paint apps and things are different. The hair color is a little bit different as well, so I'll show a comparison with that a little bit later, but first let's take a look at these two in comparison. Okay, so now that I know that these two figures actually have different pieces, I think in the previous clip you probably would have seen I was talking about, oh, it's the same. It's actually not the same. So again, it's different hip pieces. So notice down here, that red web pattern actually comes down to a point, whereas the original release here does not. The torso is different. I thought it was going to be the same, but it is in fact different. And the biggest difference is here is you see that black section between the red there. It is not present on this one, so it's just not there in the sculpt. So that's the lower torso. Now the upper torso could be the same. It's hard to really tell. I was looking at the back, and from what I could tell, it looks the same. Now the white of the spider logo is much larger on this one as opposed to this one, but this one, the white doesn't fill in that sculpted area completely. So that could be a big difference there. So the upper torso could actually be the same, and I think that it might, no, it's different. It's definitely different because I'm looking at this black section here that where it comes out to a point, and it is not the same sculpt, whereas I could see a couple of lines here that's not present on, yeah, it's definitely a different sculpt. So we get a completely new upper torso. So we'll get that out of the way. The other things between these two, the reds are a huge difference. So I like the more matte red versus the shiny plastic red, which really hurt this figure, that everyone really commented about and didn't like. So that's going to be a big difference there. We still get the white outline over the black spider. The missing web, missing texture design on the figure, I think hurts it. It would have been awesome had they done that with the new one, but they didn't, so that kind of sucks. We get a little bit more added red here at the elbow. The arms are the same, but added red at the elbow to be a little bit more screen accurate. And then looking at the inside of the arm, looks similar, but there is a little bit of differences there. There's, you know, a little bit more red. It looks to be a little bit thicker. And then we get black added to the boots, whereas the regular version from the Far From Home Molten Man wave did not have black. It was all red. Here we get black soles and black around the shoes and things like that. So again, new hip, new torso, added paint onto the elbows, and then added paint on the feet. And that is the difference between the two. This one looks a lot better, but web lines, man, web lines really would have set this figure apart and would have been awesome. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the two different Tom Holland head sculpts. I'm completely filming all these different clips in different order. I usually like to film it all in order, and I'm going back and forth like crazy. So hopefully when I edit these, I edit all these clips together. But here are the Tom Holland head sculpts. And again, they are the same. I looked closely to see if there's any differences in the sculpt. The ears are the same, the hair is the same, everything is the same. The differences are the hair color. So we get a little bit of a lighter brown, a little bit of a darker brown with this new Walmart exclusive figure. And then the paint apps are a lot different. So I like the skin tone color of this one more than this one. This one has a more matte finish. This one's got a little bit of shine to it, which kind of sucks. This one used the digital face print. This one does too. This one, I think the face print is better, but this one looks better, if that makes sense. I don't know. I think that's kind of weird. I think you can make out a little bit more of the details of his eyes on the old Iron Spider 2-pack version compared to this one, but this one looks better. Like, he had super bright red lips on this one, made it look like he had lipstick. The way the paleness of the skin tone looked when you have the hair, like his eyebrows look like they were tattooed on eyebrows type of thing. So that was kind of weird. I think the paint apps of this one are better. Now, the Tom Holland sculpt, I don't think is great. I don't think it's terrible either. It's definitely better than this monstrosity back here. If I can get that to focus. Yeah, that one's not good. We're going to hide away, and we're going to focus on this new one here. It's good, not great. And what I mean by that is I see the Tom Holland likeness, especially in spots like that. Or maybe there, you can turn it there. You just have to use your imagination a little bit and you can see it. I do think Hasbro can do better because they have done better with likenesses before, but they've also done so much worse. Again. But there we go. What do you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of it? I think it looks pretty. Like right there, that's Tom Holland. The side profile, that's like perfectly Tom Holland. But you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of it. But yes, it is in fact the same. Okay, so for the articulation, he can look down that much. The head is on a ball disc hinge. He can look up that much. You get a full rotation in there. You actually do get some pivot, so that's kind of cool. The arm, you can get the arm to go straight out like so. You get a full rotation in there. He does have a butterfly joint, so you can get the arm to go back so far, and you get some movement forward, so you can get some crossbody, as you can see there. Not a huge amount, but it's pretty good, actually, compared to some of the others. We have an upper bicep swivel in there. We get a double jointed elbow, like so. So you get that much bend there. Wrists swivel, and they do have a standard horizontal hinge, an ab crunch, so we can crunch forward this much. And while I'm at it, let's see, because it's a new torso, how much more he can crunch forward. Looks to be a little bit more, right? And then he can go back that much there. Is that back more? That's probably about the same, maybe a little bit less even, actually. We have a waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart. You can kick forward that high, which is pretty good. Leg goes back a little bit. We have an upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed knee, like so. No calf swivel or anything like that, but foot hinges all the way down. We get a little bit of hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So looks to be a little bit more improved over the previous version with the new torso, but it's still basically about the same. Okay, so here are the 3 Spider-Man figures that are the Spider-Man No Way Home. Obviously, he has a couple of other suits in that movie. We know the Iron Spider suit will make an appearance in the movie. The upgraded suit we know does, based on the trailer where Doctor Strange is like forcing his... why can't I think of what it is? But anyway, moving on. We don't know if the tech suit is going to be in the movie. I would imagine that, like, it seems like with every one of these Spider-Man movies, like, we got to get every version of the suit in the film. So, you know, who knows if we're going to get that? Who knows if we're going to get the homemade suit? Like, if there's a flashback or something crazy like that. We're probably not going to get the Zombie Hunter version. I think that's more of a rights issue when it comes to doing... animated versus the live action, the whole Sony Marvel thing and what they have going on. And I don't know that we'll see him in his Midtown Science jacket, which, I don't know, we'll throw in right there. Kind of covering up Iron Spider, but we can throw in another Iron Spider here because we got so many damn MCU Spider-Man figures now, which I don't hate. Don't get me wrong here. I kind of like that. There are so many, and he's not going to stand, so we're just going to kind of lean him back. But, and you know, there was also that 2-pack version. So lots of Spider-Man figures that have released so far. One odd thing, though, that, you know, I want to talk about is they made a new sculpted torso and hip for this Spider-Man. So if this one was truly an inside-out version of the upgraded suit, wouldn't they wanted to have used this torso as opposed to the older torso on the black and gold? Because these two figures are the same. The torsos are the exact same. They did not, I didn't mistake that, nothing. These two are the same. These two are not. So that is a little bit interesting, wouldn't you think? Because this torso, it had to all been planned around the same time. There's no way that it wasn't. So why wouldn't they have used this sculpt for this figure, right? Something to think about. It is curious, is it not? You guys let me know down in the comments below what your theories are. My theory is that, for whatever reason, that maybe this one was just cheaper and it was a cost-saving thing. But who knows? Maybe there was some bigger, deeper thing to it. Probably not. But maybe. Just maybe. Okay, there's my review of the Spider-Man upgraded suit Walmart exclusive figure. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of this figure. It seemed to be a lot of excitement around this figure because for whatever reason, maybe people missed the upgraded suit from the Molten Man wave, which is crazy. He's the double packed, which seems to be the case a lot of times. The double packed figure, you know, at first it's like, oh, well, nobody's going to want it. There's plenty more of him to find in stores. It's going to be easier. But then at some point it dries up and it's like, oh shit, I didn't get it or I missed it. Missed my chance. I want to collect now, and they're harder to get, more expensive to get. Almost always the case. Not always, like Gwenpool, I'm looking at you, but a lot of times that's what ends up happening. This one, the previous one was a little bit of a disappointment in the red, but man, the added paint texture detail of this figure was awesome, and I really would have loved for them to have done that on this figure, and I'm really disappointed that they didn't. I think it's awesome that we got a new torso, though. That's really cool. The matte red is so much better than that shiny red that we got before, and it's a solid release. You know, we get another Tom Holland head sculpt, and I think it's actually a better one, so that is also a nice addition. So I'm very happy with it. You guys let me know down in the comments below, again, your thoughts. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.